Hey folks, welcome to our blending lesson today. So this is Unit 4, Week 5, where we're finishing up that unit where we've been learning about the different ways to spell some of those long vowel sounds. So this week, we are going to learn the last two ways to spell that long E sound. So remember, long E says E, it just says its name. So this week, we're going to be working on EY and blank Y. So those blanks just mean that there's going to be a letter or a sound that comes before that. All right, so let's review our high frequency words. Of course, make sure you're focused and you're paying attention. And of course, you can turn the sound off and practice it on your own. Right, listen, caught, near, were, woman, hard, flew, would, laugh, warm, over, no, found, more, find, because, into, or, other, small, blue, give, hour, carry, about, food, start, animal, ate. Fantastic. All right, let's get started with our blending. Okay, first word, fussy. Your turn. E, fussy. So this word has a couple of sounds in it. So that first sound that you hear in fussy is the F sound. So F says what? And this U is a short U, which says And remember, when we have two consonants, we just double up on that sound. So SS, s, f, us, fuss. And then that Y at the end is what's going to say that long E. F, s, E, fussy. So next word, Mickey. Your turn. I, k, E. Mickey. Mickey. So this is like Mickey Mouse. And this word Mickey is a name, so that means it's going to be capitalized. So M says This is going to be a short I. I. And so we know that when CK is together, they work together to say that K sound. Ik, Mick. And then in this word, Mickey, that long E that you hear at the end is spelled with EY. So again, a word like this, you may have seen a bunch of times because you go to Disneyland and you see Mickey Mouse, or you've seen it in a book or a show or whatever. And so you may not even need to sound it out. So M-I-K-E, Mickey. All right, next word, baggy. Your turn. Ba-a-g-e, baggy. So this word baggy is like, your clothes can be kind of baggy. They're just kind of big. B says ba. And then this word A is a short A. Ba-a. And just like the word fussy, baggy has two consonants there. So you just double up on the sound. Ba-a-ga. And in the word baggy, that E that you hear at the end is spelled with a Y. Ba-a-ga-e. Baggy. Next word, puppy. Your turn. P-a-p-e. Puppy. I think this word puppy was on our board yesterday. P says pa. Notice how when I say puppy, I don't hear a long U. So that U is short. Pa-a. Here it is again, two consonants. We just double up on the sound. Pa-a-p-a. And then the word puppy, squeeze that over there. That long E that you hear at the end is spelled with a Y. Pa-a-p-e, puppy. So notice how in all of the words that end with Y as the long E sound, they have two consonants right before them. next word. Peppy, your turn. P-E, peppy. Peppy, so it's like, oh, you're really excited. She's got a whole lot of pep. So, P says pa. E says short E. Remember, two consonants, we double up on the sound. Pa, just like in puppy, pa-e-py. Notice the only difference in sound, the only difference in letter in peppy and puppy is peppy, puppy, All right, so let's blend. Pa-e-p-y, peppy. All right, next word. Buggy, your turn. G-E, buggy. So buggy is kind of like a wagon. B says ba. And this word buggy, that U, is a short U. And of course, if you were to see it in a book, you can flip it around and just see what sounds right. Same with the G's. We know that G can also say ja. So you just flip the sounds around until it sounds right. Ga. In the word buggy, that E that you hear at the end is spelled with a Y. Ba-ga-e, buggy. So remember, like I said last week, our instinct is to just go to the Y as saying ya. But of course, if you were to sound it out, it just might not sound right. F-saya, fa-saya. Oh, that doesn't quite sound right. Oh, well, what if that U was a long U? Fa-you-saya, fa-you-saya. Oh, that doesn't sound right either. So you can try switching that Y to a long E. Or we learned last week that Y can also say long I. So fa-sai. Oh, I don't think that sounds right either. So you do have to kind of just switch the sounds until it does sound right. So let's try this one. Ba-ga-e, buggy. All right, next word. Penny, your turn. Pa-e-n-e, penny, penny. It's like the coin, a penny. P says pa. And in this word penny, the E, short E. Two N's, we double up on the sound. N, pa, n, pen. And this word penny, that Y says E. Pa, n, E, penny. So yeah, still with all of these words that end with Y as the long E, they have double consonants right before them. So that might even give you a clue that if there's two consonants and then a Y, probably says the long E sound. All right, next word. Bowl, your turn. Ba-o-ol, bowl, bowl. This might be like you have a bowl of cereal. B says ba. And when we say bowl, we don't hear long E. We hear long O. And we learned a couple weeks ago that O-W can say that long O sound. And in this word, bowl, that long O that you hear, sorry, so squished, that long O that you hear is an O-W. Ba-o. Sorry, this is going to look a little funny. And L says ol, ba-o, ol, bowl. All right. Next word. Find, your turn. I-nd, find, find. So notice again, in this word find, you don't hear the long E sound. So this is not a long E word. Okay, so F says f. And in this word, we are using the long I sound. We hear I when we say find. And last week we learned that I by itself can say that long I sound. And in the word find, that long I is an I by itself. And I do believe, yeah, it's a high frequency word. So again, another high frequency word that you can sound out once you have all these brand new sounds in your pocket. I. And ND, one of those ending blends. Da. Let's blend. Find. Find. Next word. Night. Your turn. I. Night. So this is another review from last week. And says, and last week we learned that long I, like 5, can be spelled with I-G-H. So in this word, night, that long I that you hear in the middle is I-G-H. And like I said last week, if those letters are together, they will always say long I. They will never say their individual sounds. It'll never say igaha, igaha. It just won't. I. T says ta. I. T. Night. Next word. Green. Your turn. Gur. E. Green. Green. G-R. G-er. Gur. And this word, green, uses that long E sound that we hear in the middle. Only difference is it's spelled with E-E. But just another way to say long E, another way to spell it. Gur-E, and says gur-een, green. Again, that E-E vowel team that works together to say long E. Gur-een, green. Next word, last word, paint. Your turn. Pa, a, nt, paint. So this word paint, using the train card to say the long A sound. Remember, the train card is the long A. It says its name. So this word, paint. P says pa. And the word paint, the vowel team that works together to say long A is A-I. So like I said before, if those two letters are together, they will never say their individual sounds. They will never say ah-eh. They won't ever say A-I, pa-A-I. It won't, never ever will that be a word. And here's another ending blend. N-T, n-t, n-t. Now let's blend. Pa-a-nt, paint. Okay, excellent. So let's read our blending board using all of those wonderful sounds that we have learned. Okay. Fussy, Mickey, baggy, puppy. Your turn. Lovely. Peppy, buggy, penny, bowl. Your turn. Perfect. Find, night, green, paint. Your turn. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and do a sentence. B says ba. Again, capital B, beginning of a sentence. It's also going to be a name in our sentence. And E says eh. It's going to be a short E. Ba, eh. Remember, double up on that T says ta. And that Y is going to say E. Ba, eh, t, E. Betty. So yeah, remember all of these words that have Y at the end saying that long E sound. It's going to have a double consonant right before it. Again, that might give you a clue. Okay, so Betty. W says what? Shorty again. Eh. Wa. Eh. There's an ending blend. Nt, nt, wa, nt, went. Betty went. High frequency word to. High frequency word the. And says This is going to be a short U. U says We're going to double up on that consonant, so it says duh, duh, mud. Yeah, mud, E. So that E that you hear at the end is spelled with Y. Duh, E, muddy. Betty went to the muddy. P says pa. This is going to be a short O. Says ah. Pa, ah. And D, n, da, n, pa, ah, n, da, pond, pond. So all of these ones, you can try to switch the sounds and kind of see if it fits. Pond, pond. That doesn't quite sound right. Let me flip it to a short O. Pond. That kind of sounds like a word I know. All right, so of course, let's get punctuation in here. Betty went to the muddy pond. Your turn. Beautiful. Okay, so I think that this sentence, a telling sentence, would just get a period. It's just telling what Betty did. So let's do some nouns. Remember, a noun, a person, a place, or a thing. So we talked about earlier that Betty is a noun because she's a person, and there is a place that Betty is going to. The pond. So that means the pond is a noun. It's a place that she's going. Okay, let's do a verb. Our sentence has one verb. That verb is went, because that is what Betty did. She went somewhere. Where did she go? She went to the pond. Now, this sentence also has an adjective. An adjective is a describing word. It modifies or describes a noun. So, look at our nouns. Is there anything describing Betty? Nope. Is there anything describing the pond? Yep. Muddy. The word muddy is describing the pond. And so like I've said with adjectives before, if you were to take it out and make the sentence Betty went to the pond, that is still a correct sentence. It still has a noun and it has a verb, and it tells you something about the character Betty. The word muddy just gives you more information about it. It helps you make a better picture in your head. All right, let's read our sentence once more. Betty went to the muddy pond. Your turn. Wonderful. All right, so thank you for your focus. Make sure you go back and you review the video on your own to really help yourself practice. We'll see you later.